Hey everybody, it's Dr. Rick here dropping in on you. Hope everybody is having an unbelievable week. I'm going to do everything I can to get right to the point because I need to unwind. It has been a long day, a long week, and I'm not anywhere close to being done. So I'm going to take some time to wind down and give my brain a break. But before I do, I'm going to talk to you guys, and I'm going to do the best I can to kill two birds with one stone. First and foremost, you know the routine. We are fundraising to support the work that we do at the Odyssey Project, which is in depth. If you followed me over the last 12 or so years, you know what we do. If not, the link is in the description box. Go to the site and look at it. And we're extending and expanding. We're not getting smaller despite the lack of support, despite external contributions. We're moving and we're doing and we will continue to do so. I do not accept lack as being a reality. I figure it out. But let's talk about the black reality, and let's talk about how I move and how I operate. One of the things that I hear and I see in some of the comment fields or some of the things I do is some people are feeling some kind of way because I've integrated my morning motivation and my promotional stuff for my companies into this site. Well, first and foremost, if I'm a black man and everything I do is aimed at helping black people, and my money that I earn not only feeds my family and my future progeny through the way that I'm setting things up, but also helps me serve people in the community, then it's all about blackness. But let me tell you something. I've written 25 books. I've written over 1,000 academic articles. I have served people in helping them deal with the disproportionality of special education referrals, helping parents navigate that. I've helped parents with children with autism. I've helped parents with children who are struggling with addiction. I've helped parents. I've done all that. I've written the books. I've written the articles. I've done the lectures. I've done close to 6,000 videos on black topics, on everything you can imagine, from group economics to multi-generational trauma to African-American adolescent and young adult male violence to intimate partner violence and homicide. I've written on it. I spoke on it. I've developed programs. I'm a solution person. I'm not about whining and complaining. I'm about building and changing. And so when I share, number one, there's nobody here watching a darn TV show, going anywhere, and there's not people promoting their businesses. It's a problem when it's one of us. I promote my business because it's the way I feed my family. It's the way I support my passion. But it's also an opportunity to help black people who watch this channel do something. Everything that I promote helps people, and I'm good at it. I'm real good at it. I've been doing it for a long time. And matter of fact, there's a link in this box. Anybody that's interested in creating online income, this is the last 2 days. Saturday is the last day before we move the 7-day online business launch onto the online platform that we're using, and it will never again be $97, which was a promo anyway. It was way more than that. I put it on a promo because I wanted to teach the class. I've taught the class several times, got all the lectures on video, recording, giving away another course worth $1,500. I'm doing all that for $97. But if you don't have, so everybody listen to me, if you don't have at least, and this is everybody, this isn't just about me promoting my business. This is a real reality, and this is something we don't get. If you don't have at least 2 independent streams of income. What do I mean when I say independent streams of income? I mean that nobody can fire you from it. Nobody can lay you off from it. Nobody else is going to make a decision on whether you have that stream of income but you. Meaning that if you wake up every day and you work it, you're out there producing, you're sowing seeds, you're setting up funnels, you're making moves, you're building lists, you're dealing with all the things that's part of running a business, and you get out there, you're going to have a stream of income that nobody can take from you. And I'm telling you that When I hit my roughest time as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, my comeback was online. My comeback right now, probably 90% of my revenue is generated in one way or another online. Even when I'm dealing with people directly, they come to me through online means. I've learned how to reach people. I've learned how to leverage it. I've done it for years. The things I'm teaching people when I offer something like this is how to do it. Now, other things I'm teaching people is the right mindset. We've got to change how we think. And I'm just helping people do it. And yes, this is what I do for a living, and I'm good at it. And I don't have a problem with other people, and you know what I mean, paying me for it. What I'm trying to do is, and I'm doing it, and when I do it, normally I'm giving my people all kind of breaks that are probably not going to be as frequent because of where I'm taking my company over the next 6 months. And so that cost has to come somewhere. Right now, it's all that's flowing out of profit. But I have to raise prices. I'm going to have to be able to stick to those prices predominantly. But I got y'all. Here's what I'm trying to get you guys to understand. If you want to see me talk about redlining, you want to see me talk about benign neglect, you want to see me talk about convict leasing, you want to see me talk about multi-generational trauma, you want to see me talk about male violence, you want to see me talk about the myth on black crime, you want to see me elaborate on my blueprint 2.0 for black empowerment, you want to see me elaborate on any other books, you want me to talk about the miseducation of black youth, you want me to talk about any of a number of things that has to deal with the issues we're dealing with, mental health and mental. I mean, I've lectured on it. I've written on it. Like I said, over 25 full-length books, another 26 to 27 short books, meaning that it didn't reach 200 pages. See, so if I say I published a book, I'm talking 200 plus. All the other stuff, I call them guides, I call them reports, I call them a bunch of things. Everybody else will probably call them a books. You need to go online and Google Dr. Rick Wallace. Go to Barnes & Noble and Google and just see the stuff that I'm putting out. So when I'm on the Black Voice channel, for everybody else that's watching this on another channel, y'all bear with me. You know what to do. If you don't have 2 independent streams of income, you need to get this course, because number one, it's never going to be $97 again. You're definitely not going to get it at $97 and get a $1,500 course at it for free. So you got 2 courses over $1,000 for $97. Plus, you're going to get a direct link to me where you can connect with me, and I'll answer all the questions and fill in all the blanks of anything that you didn't get to make sure you get off, and I will follow you. And if that's not good enough, if it's still a little flaky for you and you got a little paper, my company will set it up for you, literally set your business up for you and give you the keys. And I'll tell you what the pricing is on that. We want you to succeed. And there's a reason why I'm saying that you need at least 2 independent. If you love your job, you need 2 independent streams of income outside of your job. You don't control your job. Here's another thing that you don't do. You are not going to be able to take your job after you retire and hand it to your kids. That's going to go to somebody else, whoever they believe is the best person to replace you. So that's not a wealth builder. That's not something you can pass down. You need things you can pass down. You need things that hold wealth. You need things that carry value outside of putting currency in the bank. Currency is an issue. I'm teaching courses on that. If you haven't gotten one of those courses, you need to get in that one. I'm talking about why it's important to understand the basics about money, about investing, and about building wealth, about retiring early, about setting up your family, about business trust, about living trust, about all the things that I've been teaching and talking about. And it's in my latest book, The War on Black Wealth, Breaking the Code. You know, I have been blessed to live a life that most people don't dream they will ever live. I don't talk money, but people who know me or people who can research will tell you what I've done. But I can tell you right now, I own multiple companies that operate on the internet. Google it. I can tell you that I'm earning a living doing what I'm trying to teach you to do, because you're sitting up, listening, and getting the courses. I am the proof. And my thing is, if you don't have these 2 independent streams of income, You're at the mercy of the person who controls the one stream of income you do have. One of the companies that I owned in the past, and I have in 35 years, launched and brought to profit 47 companies. One of the companies I owned was an international relocation company that expatriated and repatriated high-level executives for companies like Flora Daniels, EDS, Nortel, Unical, Dresser Industries, and Enron, which is why I bring up this point. Not only did I help expatriate a lot of Enron employees, I repatriated all of them. Now, obviously, I didn't do it myself, but my company did. And I was the predominant person dealing with most of the people at some point, but I had a lot of help. But here's what I'm trying to get you to understand. I was the person who was informing these people of their severance packages, informing these people of where they stood. I've watched people who thought they were retiring with $1 million nest eggs have their 401ks totally raped and ravaged because they played around with it and manipulated their 401ks to go heavy in Enron stock because they were reading the financials, which were being doctored. And when the company collapsed, they lost their money. And they came home in 30 years of thinking they were set, and they weren't. And a lot of them had no other alternatives. There was a woman who had been there 28 years. She was about to leave in 2 years. Nothing. And she's 60-something years old. Nobody wants to hire her, definitely not at a wage that she could sit up and live. And she's 60, and she doesn't know what to do. She's freaking out because she didn't leverage, because she didn't hedge, because she didn't think outside the box, because she didn't take control of her destiny. When I'm telling you that you need to have multiple streams of income and that the internet is one of the most easiest ways to create it because everybody is on the internet. Do you realize that 85%, and it may be higher than that, now I haven't checked in a few months, but 85% of people who are going to make their first purchase on any particular thing search the internet, and they do it from their phones, mobile phones. And that, what does that mean? That if you have a presence on the internet and you're providing a solution that people are looking for, there's a chance that they're going to find you if you know how to set yourself up, if you start to understand SEO, if you start to understand cost-effective marketing and ad budgets and all that stuff that you can learn and you need to learn. I'm not telling you it's easy. You're going to pop up and be a mad genius overnight. Some people pick up stuff pretty quick. I taught myself for the most part. There are people I did hire when I got to a point where I could hire. But when I started this, I just knew I could not lose. Everything that I had was hanging on this because I had really took a hit from the last major economic downturn. And a couple of arrogant decisions that I made that I learned from. And so when I'm on here and I'm talking positivity, when I'm on here and I'm talking business, when I'm on here and I'm doing motivation, it's because my people need that too. Yes, we need to talk about us. We need to talk about things specific to us, but we need to talk about things that are essential to the empowerment dynamic that we keep talking about. Without money, there is no power. Without wealth, there is no power. The wealth gap between whites and blacks is widening. Why? Because we don't understand how things work, because we don't focus on the right things. We keep thinking that we can go to the people who are hamstringing us and get them to fix our problems. That's not a good strategy when you really think about it. It is not a good strategy. I'm going to go to the people who are benefiting from me being impotent and ask them for power. Matter of fact, I'm going to ask them to surrender their power to me so that I can catch them and compete with them. Even the people who are over there that think that privilege is unfair aren't willing to give it up because they can't be sure what we're going to do with it when we get it. And so they're sitting up going, man, it's unfair, but I ain't giving up. I mean, y'all really did get screwed, but I'm not giving it. So then what do you have to do? You got to take it. And you got to take it $1 at a time, an investment at a time, a business at a time. I'm going to tell you something. You can't go into a black community and look up And everything that's taking the dollars out of black hands is owned by someone other than a black person. You can't go in there and say my liquor store is owned by an Arab, my gas station is owned by an Arab, my dry cleaners is owned by an Asian, the nail shop and the beauty supply is owned by an Asian. The grocery stores are either owned by whites or Asians. And then sit up and say, man, we're going to have power. No, we got to start financing businesses. We got to start financing how we educate our children so that we prepare them. We got to start doing some things outside of complaining. So when I bring these things on here, yes, I'm promoting my business. Any person with half a brain would be promoting their business in any place where they have a space. But I'm also giving you day after day after day nothing but wealth of information that you can take and do something with. The thing is, most people aren't. It's okay, though. At some point in time, you got to get uncomfortable enough to make a move. The other day, I told you, we are way too comfortable being uncomfortable. And until we get to a point where we're at a level of discomfort that we can't be still, that we can't, then we'll move. But for those of you who want to make moves, stay tuned. I'm going to keep dropping stuff. They're going to be something that eventually will resonate with you. But the one thing I can tell you, when I come and I'm talking to you about this thing right here, you need to tune into that, because that's free. When I'm telling you about how to think, when I'm telling you about how to move, when I'm telling you about to keep your spirit lifted, when I'm showing you how to move and think and operate and how to build and develop yourself, because you can only produce who you are. You can only produce who you are. You will never produce anything beyond the standards that you have set for yourself to become. You don't get what you want in this life. You get who you are, who you become. So when I'm showing you those things, I'm showing you how to get somewhere. Because if you get there, you can change your situation. If you can change your situation, you can change your situation for your children in the future, progeny that come from your loins, that come from your lineage. You have a responsibility to do that. We're talking about being the first generation that's going to actually leave our progeny or our offspring in a worse situation than we came into. We've got work to do. And so, yes, I'm going to talk about more than just what some celebrity did. Yes, I'm going to talk about more than look how they're doing. Yeah, we know what they're doing. The question is, when are we going to start doing something about it? That's always been my thing. I've always talked about that. And, you know, we don't get support for Black Men Lead. We don't get support for our domestic violence programs. We don't get support for our wraparound services and mental health services. We don't get support for that. And if we don't get support, but I'm still doing it, who's doing it? So when I sit up and promote this, understand that a portion of this is still going towards things that are directly impacting the community. But still, I'm trying to help as many people as I can who look like me, because the opportunities are out there. So once again, if you don't have at least 2 independent streams of income, you need to check out this course. And there's going to be a lot more coming over the course of the next month or so that's going to open up doors to you and show you things in a way that you've never seen it, so that you can take advantage of it and you can advance yourself. And there are a lot of people out here who have become convinced, because they've got us locked out of most of the channels, and we're so far behind, and our earning potential is so much less than theirs that we can't do anything about it. And I keep showing you that compounding alone is a powerful way over 20 to 25 to 30 years to literally take a very little and make it a whole lot. We're talking about a man who never made more than $20,000 a year, retiring with a investment portfolio over $500,000, house paid for, children sent to college paid for, total net worth at around over $1 million. Never made more than $12 an hour, never made more than $20,000 a year. Earl Crowley is his name. Let's talk about Theodore Johnson. Theodore Johnson never made more than $14,000 a year, but this was way back in the early 1900s. So it was worth a little bit more than what 14,000 is now, but still 14,000. And someone convinced him to take 20% of that and put it into a compounding mechanism. 2 that I think of immediately right now are the Vanguard 500 and the S&P 500. consistently producing on an annual basis 8.2 to 9%, and sometimes better, annually compounded. Get you a compound calculator and say, I'm gonna put $400 or just $50 or $100 a week, and then look at each year what that adds up to. Put it in for 1 year, put it in for 5 years, put it for 10. You can go find a compound calculator on the internet real easy. Just put it in Google, compound calculator. One's gonna pop up, and you just start putting those numbers in and realize how much you have wasted to this point by not compounding. There's so much I want to teach and share, but people are so caught up in disqualifying people and finding things wrong and all that. And I've kept going because number one is I don't need anybody to validate me. I know who I am. I don't need anybody. That's why I don't toss numbers. That's why I don't do a whole lot of picture taking and a bunch of other stuff. You know, what I'm doing with my life and my family is I'm growing my family. I'm grooming my family for greatness. And it's not always easy. And, you know, I've taken a lot of bumps and bruises, but hey, I'm just getting started on what I plan on doing and what I plan on leaving this world. And I want as many people as possible to jump on that same wagon. So on that note, I'm gonna get ready to get out of here. If you don't have at least 2 streams of income that you control independently of anybody else, you need to click that link in that description box. Take advantage of it. And we will talk again soon. On that note, I'm gonna get ready to get out of here. You guys take care.